Wow, here we are, Evie, the Shadowlands Pre-Patch on the PTR already. How exciting is this?
Taliesin, there appear to be zombies everywhere right now. Maybe we should come back later. Taliesin?
Come on, Evie, I want to go and try out all the cool new customization options at the barbershop. I'm thinking purple eyes because I'm so edgy.
But Tally, what about the zombies? Don't you think we should maybe, I don't know, run for our lives or something?
Oh, Evie, come on, you don't believe all that zombie conspiracy nonsense, do you?
Zombie conspiracy?
Yeah, it's all a total hoax spread by Gallywix to sell us a vaccine that we don't need so that he can microchip us and hack our accounts.
Where did you hear that?
Some guy in cultist robes handed me a flyer which exposed the whole thing.
I don't know, Tally. There seem to be quite a lot of zombies. I think I might just run.
Fine, whatever, but more people die of disconnects every year than zombie plagues, and...
Tally?
I'm a zombie, aren't I?
Yeah, sorry.
What colour are my eyes?
Knowledge is power.
Hello, Internet. Taliesin here, and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Reset. Taliesin and Evitel's wondrous wisdom show in a week where not only will we, T&E, be giving away access to the Shadowlands beta to 100 of you, but all of you get to play some Shadowlands if you like, because kind of out of nowhere, the pre-patch hit the PTR, and be honest, how many of us expected that? So not only can anyone who cares to download the client now jump in and play with all the new class changes, level squish, customization options, Exile's Reach starting area, and get down and dirty with some serious zombie fun times in Icecrown and the faction capitals. And don't worry, because we are going to be talking about all of that. But also, you know, you've got to kind of think that really Shadowlands, like the actual real World of Warcraft expansion, Shadowlands, honestly can't be that far away in terms of release date. The BFA pre-patch went onto the PTR in mid-June 2018. Just a month later, the pre-patch was live, and barely a month after that, Battle for Azeroth had launched. So basically 2 months from pre-patch PTR shenanigans to BFA worldwide launch day excitement. And I don't think that Shadowlands will be following such a short time frame. This PTR build certainly seems a little less complicated than that first BFA one. Chromie's Path Through Time, Shadowlands' new Choose Your Leveling expansion feature, is currently disabled, for example. And it would be super hectic if Blizzard did end up launching Shadowlands in mid-October with not even 2 months advanced warning. Because yeah, we still have not had an official release date for this expansion yet. Have we, John? You sly old tease. But I'm willing to go this far at least. It seems this might be a sign that Shadowlands will be here a bit sooner than some of us thought. And what of that pre-patch? How does it rate? Is it a worthy start to an expansion that, let's be honest, really has to be good? Pre-patch events are incredibly important. Remember the Warlords of Draenor pre-patch event? No? Exactly. But in recent times, Blizz have upped their game with Legion invasions, providing chaotic, repeatable content in the old world, and BFA's War of Thorns delivering some incredibly lore-heavy and intensive narrative through a questline that unfolded over the course of 3 weeks. And okay, you may not have liked the narrative itself, but as an event, it was awesome. And for Shadowlands, Blizzard seems to be combining those two approaches into one glorious whole, with a BFA-style unfolding questline narrative and the return of an old favourite, Scourge invasions in Stormwind and Orgrimmar. The idea being that since Sylvanas solo Bolvar and disenchanted the gear, there is no Helm of Domination to keep the Scourge under control, so they're back doing their bitey thing. There must always be a Lich King and all that. But what are the Scourge invasions, Taliesin? Oh, I'm glad you asked, Scrub Nooblord, who didn't even play vanilla though. The Scourge invasions were first introduced in 2006 as a precursor to Naxxramas, but then more famously as the pre-patch event for Wrath of the Lich King, and featured hordes of Scourge spawning in faction capitals and other locations and infecting players who would themselves then transform into Scourge and set about wreaking havoc on their fellow players, creating all-out anarchy in those capitals and making everyday play, like using the auction house or entering PvP instances, pretty much impossible. I didn't actually play any of that, obviously, because I'm a noob scrub lord who only started playing in Wrath of the Lich King, but that doesn't matter, because as anyone will tell you, the Scourge invasions were one of the most beloved in-game events of all time. So I feel like I was there, you know, because for years, players have been talking about it with misty-eyed nostalgia for a better and more exciting age, as you can see for yourself if you use the Wayback Machine to check out the Battle.net forums from the time. Allow me, if you will, to read you some of the thread titles from just one day in November 2008 after the event had launched, to show you just how much everyone loved the Scourge invasions. I hate the zombie event. For the love of God, remove the zombies! Enough with the invasion! Delete the zombie infestation event, please. Anyone else wish the zombie thing was over? Account cancellation after zombie world event! Zombie sucks. Sick of the sight of the living dead! Unfair event, this zombie thing. Zombie problem way out of control. Zombies equals fail. But don't go reading too much into that, because in the name of fairness, there was one positive post on that page. I like the event, 2 replies. Which is weird because, I don't know, but it certainly seems to me like a whole lot of people didn't, in fact, enjoy the Wrath Scourge event, to the extent that Blizzard actually wrapped the entire thing up early, long before it was scheduled to finish. But whatever, those guys probably all quit the game years ago, and anyway, these days, a bunch of bitey boys wreaking carnage on a capital isn't going to be such a big deal anyway, because we've got flying, and auto queues, and long boy auction house mounts. I mean, everyone's got one of those, right? And that's an important difference that was very much appreciated on the forums, where the player base was delighted to see such a popular event return for Shadowlands, with everyone agreeing that it's happenings like this which really make WoW what it is, something we can talk about and share and laugh about and remember, because no, it was a shit show, obviously. Oh no. Who thought this would be a good idea? Blizzard is breaking its own TOS by preventing people from playing the game. This isn't an event, it's mass trolling a la Blizzard. Beloved my ass. Here I thought I was finally able to test Shadowlands and I arrive at a zombie plague. Anger does not describe my feeling. Blizzard can go fork themselves. And I have to admit, it is quite funny to be playing on the Alliance or Horde side and have to pick up important, can't progress the game without them pre-patch quests from NPCs who are just casually standing in the middle of the street, swamped by countless hordes of hungry undead, just waiting to tear you limb from limb the second you get close. And yes, it took me a good 20 minutes to actually pick up those quests, but in fairness, part of that was because I was having too much fun. Here's the thing, the pre-patch Scourge event invasions are awesome. Being a zombie and teaming up with all the other zombies to cause zombie havoc is insanely enjoyable, because of course it is, as is the potential for zombie disease spreading. Taking a portal will cleanse you back to normal, but if you survive becoming infected, then you have 1 minute before you actually succumb to becoming a Scourge. And of course, it's in that minute that you can go to Dalaran or Boralis or Zandalar if you want to really have some fun infecting the masses, or, you know, the Exodar or your garrison if you want the disease to die out quietly without ever getting near any other living soul. Hashtag self-isolate in the Exodar. In fact, my only real worry with the Scourge invasions is whether they're going to be frequent enough. Blizzard have said that they will be on occasional timers, and when I've been on the PTR in Stormwind or Orgrimmar and there are no zombies to be seen, it's a little bit disappointing, to be honest, which would suck, except if there's one thing the last few months have taught me, it's that people generally can be trusted to keep a plague going long after it was supposed to die out and life was meant to be back to normal. Basically what I'm saying is, I think when this goes live, the player base is going to do a very good job of making sure the plague is always happening. Basically what I'm saying is, there's an auction house in Shattrath, you might be safe there. So okay, yes, the Scourge invasions are perfect. Lots of people are going to hate it, and that's okay with me, because those people are gonna get et, son, which just leaves the questing part of the pre-patch. And REDBOT spoiler up for this, obviously, because we are talking the actual events leading up to the start of the expansion here, and we've got skies exploding, the return of the Argent Crusade, character abductions, character deaths, which probably sounds incredibly exciting to you, doesn't it? And yeah, it's okay. Like War of Thorns, these quests seem like they're going to be rolled out over a couple of weeks, and at the time of writing, only the first 2 weeks have been unveiled. Maybe those are the 2 only weeks. I suspect they might be. Maybe an extra one would have been rolled out onto the PTR by the time this video is released. But the good news is that the story elements themselves are pretty cool. In the middle of the Scourge invasions, Gen or Lorthamar is going to inform you that Anduin, Jaina, Thrall, and Bane have been abducted by Sylvanas, and there's going to be what you'd imagine is a Terran Gregory cinematic special showing you that happen. We're also told that they tried to abduct Tyrande too, but she's basically far too badass now and destroyed them with her Night Warrior sass. Kalia Menethil is there with Lorthamar talking about the Night Elf Dark Ranger Forsaken. Talia is there with Gen, and he just straight up tells her that Bolvar, the Lich King, is her dad. And she's all like, oh, well, that is big news, wow. We then have to fly around gathering reports from nearby outposts who are also being attacked. And yes, I spent about 20 minutes in Goldshire biting people, but not like how that usually goes down on Argent Dawn EU. It was a refreshing change. Before being sent to Icecrown, but not before picking up a quest to go and kill Nathanos Blightcaller in Maris Stead, which you go and do pronto, obviously, because who doesn't want to kill Nathanos? And look, I have to admit, as much as I enjoy the meme of hating Nathanos, mainly because of his stereotypically over-the-top evil cartoon villain voice lines, there's something strange about, you know, killing him as a world boss outside his old home. It's kind of weird and kind of sad, and it got me a bit harder than I thought it was going to. So it's probably just as well that you don't actually kill him, because at about 10% health, it cuts to another cinematic, which we find out later is Tyrande jumping in and totally kill-stealing that fool. So wow, high drama and high stakes right here at the beginning of the expansion, you know? I mean, high stakes if you ignore the fact that we're going to be spending the next 2 years in the afterlife, where people who die go to. Then Nathanos dying is a really big deal, you know? I'm sure that's absolutely the total last we'll see of him for sure, though. And it's here that stuff starts getting a little weird, because now, of course, we head to Icecrown, hook up with the Argent Crusade, and get into that hot and tasty Icecrown questing. We establish ourselves there, do a couple of dailies, and that's kind of it. It's odd because not only is there not much really happening in Icecrown the first time you head there in the pre-patch, and not only are there not many quests, but there's also no real kind of well done champion kind of dialogue to show you that you've finished. No, well, thank goodness for that. We'll spend the rest of the week surviving these attacks and then looking forward to next week though kind of thing, which I think it really needs, because the questing in week 2 is much better. You uncover a big awesome looking forsworn dark Kyrian herald in the Cathedral of Darkness who says, "Death comes for the soul of this world," which is another reference to Azeroth's Titan world soul being the jailer's main objective to add to the growing list of such examples. But that first week or installment, or however it actually ends up rolling out, I don't know, it just seems not just a little underwhelming with so little of importance happening, but also there being so little happening in Icecrown is actually a little bit confusing. After completing the quests for the first time on stream, I was just flying around, waiting for the admittedly very cool world bosses to pop, and genuinely wondering if I'd done what I was supposed to do, because I didn't really get why I was doing any of it. And true, I get confused quite easily and probably shouldn't be used as any type of measure, but still, if you don't know to look for it, you could easily not even look up and see the huge hole in the sky the entire time that you're there. No one even mentions it, and I kind of think maybe they should. Fun as it all is, I guess it just feels a little bit unfocused, and it definitely doesn't compare all that well to the breathless storytelling of the War of Thorns. But the second installment is a lot better, even if you never really feel in danger, and hey, it is super fun being back in Icecrown again. The rewards for the daily quests don't seem to be implemented yet, but as well as being able to exchange trophies for Argent Crusade rep, it looks like a lot of that is going to take the form of a collectible currency to buy level 100 gear from a quartermaster, the equivalent of 450 now. So a handy way to boost your alts in time for Shadowlands, and hopefully a cool new transmog to go with it. Might I suggest, once again, new high-res versions of the original Wrath pre-patch Battle Gear of Undead Slaying collection, including the beautiful blue recolor of the Judgment set. Well, I might, and yes I am, I'm suggesting it, and when I say suggesting, I mean kind of begging. Please, Blizzard, give us the Battle Gear of the Undead Slaying, okay? Thanks.
Blizzard gave us their official preview of Adventures this week. Ooh, Adventures, they sound really fun, don't they? With a blue post going into great detail about the new mission table system. Oh, in Shadowlands, because apparently it takes 462 words to say, "It's an auto-battler now." That's a bit unfair, if not inaccurate. Soulbinds and other adventurers that you collect from questing, as well as more standard troop types, are organized on a simple auto-battler board against enemy setups, where positioning is important, and you'll have to watch how your adventurers perform and learn how to use them better, and the whole thing is objectively more engaging and thoughtful and involved than any mission table has ever been. And it is fun watching the little guys do their fighting when the missions are done, but that's kind of the problem, isn't it? There's an argument that says mission tables are at their most enjoyable the less engaging they are. BFA's version was great because it took zero thought. You just pressed buttons to put things in place and then forgot about it. The Garrison mission table, which required a bit more effort in planning, was considerably more annoying, and Adventures seemed to be more on that end of the scale, right down to you having to collect your adventurers from the open world. Also, and this is a weird thing, but I feel setting up your auto battle and then having to wait like 8 hours or a day to see it actually play out is super annoying. One of the fun things about auto battles is their immediacy. I honestly think it might be better to have adventures play out instantly, and then the troops involved need like an 8-hour rest or whatever before they can be used again. I just think that would be more fun. The timer is the amount of recuperation units need rather than how long the fight takes. And if all of this sounds horrible to you, well, it's just a mission table. Those who enjoy it can do it, and everyone else can just use whatever add-on pops up in Day 2 of Shadowlands to do it for them, and then complain about how it's boring. Interestingly though, Blizz list mounts among rewards for adventures, so many of us will be keen to see what pops up there. You might have noticed we put out a video this week all about the new Covenant dungeon bonuses that have popped up on the beta. The idea that it seems every dungeon will have unlockable buffs, or route skips, or other advantages accessible to players who belong to the Covenant appropriate to the dungeon's location, and which can then be used by the entire group. Venthyr gets some damage and healing buffs from Soul Cages and Sanguine Depths, Night Fae unlock alternate routes and stat buffs in Mists of Terna Scythe, Kyrian unlock a couple of different short haste buffs in the Necrotic Wake, and the latest to be discovered is for the Maldraxxus dungeon, the Theater of Pain, officially the absolute best dungeon in the whole of Shadowlands, and now even more so if you happen to have a Necrolord member in your group, where 3 Necrolord banners throughout the dungeon will allow teamsters of that Covenant to give their teammates a total of 15 minutes worth of 10% versatility and movement speed buffs, which is basically another reward so good that you're really going to want a Necrolord in your Theater of Pain group. It's a clear attempt from Blizzard to further eradicate the possibility of an absolute best Covenant pick for all players, and honestly, I kind of like it. I'm with Taliesin thinking that the rewards may be a little strong right now, but as a concept, I really like it. And yeah, some things might pop up every now and then that are a little OP, like the Night Fae Soulbind trait Sylvari Mantle that allowed you to drop combat when Covenant ability Soul Shape ends, turning it into basically another Shadow Meld and making it disproportionately useful for Mythic Plus compared to any other Covenant. But that's okay, because we're still in beta, where these things can easily be changed, which is exactly what happened to Sylvari Mantle. I'm all for Blizz trying any idea they want, as long as they have time to refine and tune, or ultimately throw out the bits that don't work. Anyway, we've got a whole video on that subject, but on the subject of dungeons, the latest beta build also saw legendary recipes and conduits dropping as loot from dungeon bosses. The main gameplay loop in forging those all-important Shadowlands legendaries is of course collecting the materials you need from Torghast to create them. But on top of that, you need the base items that the legendary effects get put onto. So a blank orange ring or a chest piece or cloak or whatever, also currently dropping from dungeon bosses. And the actual recipe of the effect that you want to put on the item, which is what this is. It seems like, as expected, the drop rate on all of these things is pretty high, or at least high enough that you're not going to be pulling your hair out waiting for them to drop, which is kind of a relief. And of course, dungeons and raids aren't the only place you get legendary recipes and conduits, because they are also purchasable from the PvP vendor in Oribos. Recipes can be bought with honor, and conduits are, at the moment, free! Just go ahead and take them, they're all yours! I kept telling you that PvP vendors are awesome! Unless, of course, you're Ian Hazacostas and you can't find it. Sorry, Ian. Dungeons for you. Okay, yeah, they'll probably cost something eventually, and possibly require a certain PvP rank to buy too, since they come in different item levels, but still, it's cool that these super important items seem like they'll be plentiful and from any number of different sources. As always, Wowhead go into a lot more detail on a lot of the subjects we've covered today, and we are linking all the relevant articles in the description for you to peruse at your leisure. So Go peruse.
Okay, Evitel, no time for dicking around with funny talking.
Oh,
okay, on
wow.
the sofa. No time for any of
Okay.
that. I know you're going to say something funny and witty and insightful,
How
but
did you
none of that.
know?
We don't have time because we've got a couple of big announcements to make.
Yes, we do.
Number one, Blizzard Entertainment, the company who make World of Warcraft,
Is that so?
famous video game, have given us 100 beta accesses to give to you.
Oh wait, I thought they were for my collection.
No, you've already
So
got
I have
100.
like 4.
Yeah, I know.
I just need 96 more, Liz.
Not beta keys, because beta keys don't exist. They will never exist for Shadowlands. That's not how it happens. If someone's telling you they've got a beta key, they're lying to you. Ignore them and don't send them any money or anything like that. Instead, win access via us and a competition. But Taliesin, how can I win access to the beta? Well, I'm going to tell you. And when I say me, I mean Evitel.
Yeah, so to be clear, Blizz are obviously supplying the beta access, but we are the organizers of this giveaway, not them. So the giveaway is open to any World of Warcraft player over the age of 13 worldwide and whatever your subscription status. All you have to do to enter is take a screenshot of your character in-game being very sad that they don't have access to the beta. So you can take the screenshot on a free trial account if you wish.
That should be very easy because everyone will be very sad.
Indeed.
If you don't have beta.
So the sadder the scene, the more chance you have of being one of the 100 winners.
Okay, Evitel, I've taken my screenshot. It's tragic. It's breaking my heart. I'm crying just thinking about it. What do I do then?
Okay, then wipe your tears away. Then you have to tweet your image at us, at Taliesin Evitel, with the hashtag TNE No Shadowlands Beta Club by the end of Saturday, 22nd August. Winners will be notified by Twitter DM, so you have to be following us, because we will then be sliding into your DMs asking you for your Battle.net ID, and we're going to give your battle tag to Blizz, who will activate beta on your account on September the 3rd.
Your data will only be handled by ourselves and Blizzard, and we will be deleting your info the minute we've handed it to Blizzard and will not be using it for any other purpose. So your account must be in good standing, so not banned or suspended, or the requirements stated in section 1D23 of the Blizzard EULA shall be met. That's my favourite section of the Blizzard EULA, so it's important.
Mine too. Mine too. How did you know?
I love all this legal stuff. It's amazing.
It's so fun.
Obviously, that means you'll also have to spell your battle tag right, and we and Blizzard aren't responsible for you spelling it wrong if you win and not getting the beta. And also, any country-specific taxes associated with the receipt or use of the prize is also the sole responsibility of the prize winner. That's not up to us. That's up to Blizzard, who made these rules that we're repeating and that we definitely understand. That's going to be all terms and conditions, right?
Yes. So, to repeat the important bit, take a screenshot of your character in-game looking as sad and pathetic as possible.
Impossible on my long boy.
About having no beta access, and tweet it with the hashtag TNE No Shadowlands Beta Club by the end of Saturday, August 22nd. We will then be DMing all 100 winners on Twitter from our account to get their battle tags and send them to Blizzard, who will activate their accounts for beta on September 3rd.
Oh my god, that sounds so easy!
Easy peasy.
I'm surprised they haven't all got beta already. The actual instructions are easy, it's just like all the other nonsense that we have to say with it because of like the legal stuff. Yeah. And here's the other brilliant thing about this competition, okay? It's happening right now.
Right now
On this episode of the Weekly Reset, which just so happens to be the last episode of the Weekly Reset that we will ever record in this apartment, in this office. Barring something going incredibly wrong. I guess never say never, but if something goes incredibly wrong, maybe we'll be back here next week or week after. But as things stand, we are getting our keys to our new place this weekend. We are moving everything over during the week next week. I find it almost impossible that we'll be ready for a Weekly Reset next weekend. So this will be the last one for 2 weeks until we get the new place set up. We do have a video planned for the meantime. Obviously, we will be streaming the whole time as well. But, you know, we've been here for just over 2 years. It will be the third different place that we've recorded T&E videos from.
You're right.
We were in the first place for Legion. We moved here in time for BFA.
We did.
And we're getting out of here in a new place in time for Shadowlands.
We followed the expansion cycle.
Yeah, exactly. It's been an absolute joy recording in this place for the last 2.5 years. It's been incredible.
I miss it.
It's marked an amazing time for the channel and like for us as people. You know, we got married living here.
We did.
We had a baby living here.
We did, oh my God.
All sorts. It's been absolutely incredible. So we'll miss it a lot, actually. You know, if stuff gets easier in the new place, I won't miss it that much, to be honest. But
Yeah.
at the moment, I really miss it. So what finer way to say goodbye to this little apartment on the 3rd floor than by giving you guys loads of beta keys in a really, really complicated way.
Perfect. I can think of no better send-off.
Me neither. So hopefully you win, and we'll see you very soon for the all new and improved, and it will be very different as well. Here's the thing. It will be really, really different.
Yeah.
The all new and improved weekly reset in a couple of weeks. In the
Can't wait to
meantime,
show you
follow us
guys.
on Twitter so you can keep up with the news.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitch so you can see everything that's happening there as well. Follow the channel anyway, because there will be other videos apart from the weekly reset that we don't need like the set and stuff for. And patrons, of course. Good time to be a patron when we're moving houses as well. You get all behind the scene videos of us basically just crying in corners and packing boxes and stuff like that. Look forward to that as well. But thank you for joining us today and for the last X amount of years, however long you've been here.
Aww.
If you liked this episode, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to make all of our work happen. And guys, honestly, without you, I mean, none of what we've done in the last 5 years would have even happened.
4 years and
probably be no baby.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, because
That's dark.
I know, but like thinking about the patrons is the only way I can get aroused. So it's just facts.
Yeah.
If you didn't like it, just fuck off, okay? Do you know what I mean? Just get out. Just fuck off.
I never thought we'd see this day, but we have. Here we are.
No, do whatever you will. Honestly, it's fine. From me, Taliesin.
And me, Evitel.
And the Nyrin too, that beautiful little sleepy boy. Until next time, cheerio.